Will take a couple moments here.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to mention about Cullula Rd. So people think, well, Cullula Rd, what does it mean and where it originated from?
Okay.
So I'll give some
Okay.
kind of, you know what I mean?
Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Thank you guys for joining us once again. And so we're going to do an update on the situation going on with the coronavirus. And we also have a couple of guests. We have Rosemarie with us right now. Rosemarie is usually in the chat room, but she's on the phone with us. We've had somewhat of an interrupted signal, so hopefully things will go well with this. And Rosemarie, you could hear me, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Hello to everybody.
So we are live, and we're going to focus first on basically what we can do to help ourselves in this situation. And I have up Rosemarie's website right now, Cullula Rd. And so, Rosemarie, tell us about yourself again.
Okay. I became a naturopath pretty much by accident, probably in about 2009. I had a knee injury was work-related, but this has been going on for 15 years. And the doctor wanted to send me to a chronic pain doctor, which at first I did try all the medicines that they suggested to get rid of the chronic pain, but it wasn't doing anything. It made me worse. And so I just told him, look, mate, I'm going to find alternative medicines to do to find better ways to combat this chronic pain. And I looked into it. That was about 2008 when that started, down the journey to be into natural health. And I found an array of herbs that just squashed the chronic pain out the window. Even changing your diet, looking into the blood types, which I'm going to focus on today. A lot of stuff, you can be pain-free. I can vouch for that. I'm sure you're aware, and I haven't really mentioned it. I've had 4 total hip replacements, but this is not because of my ill health or anything that's happened at me doing the wrong thing. This is totally an accident. But unfortunately, the doctors that I've have in Australia, they've all stuffed each hip up. So it looks like I'm going for the 5th one very soon. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I ended up being a naturopath. I've grown up with horses since birth. My family is well known in the trotting industry in Australia. My brother Robert does all that now. When I was 16, I left the horse racing industry, and I ventured off into the big world, and was in the corporate world for a very long time. That's where I ended up getting hurt. Too much hours and walking around and heavy lifting, and so that's took its toll. So about 2010, that's when I started to do my naturopath course. Did my 4 years, finished, and then I opened up my own business. I have 2 businesses actually. Cullula Rd is one of the properties that we have in southern New South Wales. As you can see, the logo, it's got a photo on it, and that picture it's called a pomaderous flower, which only grows on that street, on that road. So Cullula Rd is the actual road where the property is on. So I incorporated the logo, the name of the street, and that's where we come with Cullula Rd, because that's pretty much where I try and grow my herbs, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. So today I want to focus more on immune defenses and why a lot of people have immune issues, and you find a lot of it surrounded around food and what we eat. And I'm going to focus a lot on blood types today as well. So is there anything that you want to ask before we go ahead? Because I've written a lot of notes down, because knowing my luck, I'll forget half of it.
Yeah, it hit me that I was wondering. I think a lot of people are wondering if this is something that's perhaps more deadly to a certain genetic type, a background, a blood type. And as you were saying, blood types are really important, considering what we eat, because some things, may not agree with our body and may give us an inflammatory response. And of course, you don't want that if you're sick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I'm going to focus more on herbs. I don't want to go down the road of synthetic vitamins. We need to focus on nutritional values, and herbal remedies that we can combat this naturally. Anyone can do this. It's not rocket science. You got all the herbs in the world. Most of it grows in your own backyard. You should be using herbs that in your area, because that's already the allergens and everything. It's your body into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just like with having honey that is locally grown, so it's the same idea.
Yeah. Like today, I did share a video to your Facebook. There was some really, really great information, like spoken about from Emergency Manager and Associate on coronavirus, Ron Tyler. He said he's willing to come and help you or myself discuss what's going on and ins and outs. And he actually brought up a few comments about the kids. They're not getting affected from this virus at all. Apparently it's only Asians that are getting it, of a certain age group. And I thought to myself, okay, there must be something that they're putting in the kids when they get inoculated with their programs from about 6 weeks old. They must be putting something in those vaccines for them not to be affected. And I think it's going to be something that triggers it later on. It could be the spraying, how whatever they do with us. I'm not going to get into the words because it will end up getting, what happens.
Yes.
Yeah, so it really just put a thought in my mind. So, okay, if there's only certain types of people that are getting affected, so I think we should really look at the wider picture. Even like with, what's his name, Naughty Beaver, and with Cosmic Agency, he did the video with the same thing about that topic. He mentioned about, the lady that mentioned about sugar and how anemic our bodies are. And that's why we're getting a lot of sickness, which I totally agree with her, 100%. Because if your blood is not healthy, anything and every disease that will come is just going to attack you. So you need to build up your immune system and your blood as well. And like even today, I'm not going to go into colloidal silver and some topics because it's pretty much covered every day. And Cindy does a really great job of educating people on colloidal silver. So there's no need for me to add anything because there's nothing to add. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemarie. You are just so sweet and wonderful, and you're such a wealth of wonderful, good, hearty information, and we so appreciate you, and I'm really glad we have you here today. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay, today I'm going to cover meat as well as bones, broths and stuff like that. So I'm not here to offend anyone that's if they're vegetarian or they don't like eating animals. I'm an animal lover. I've got chickens in my backyard. I've got 4 dogs in my house. We've got horses. So when it comes to the animals, they're always a priority in our life. But unfortunately, some people do eat meat, and I have to cover all the bases. I can't just be, take this, or because a lot of things that I'm going to discuss about, it might make sense to people that we've lost the way that our ancestors used to eat. So, and that's probably where a lot of things are missing in the link, if you know what I mean. Okay, do you want me to start, or do you want to ask me more questions?
Yeah, go right ahead with what you wanted to share.
Okay, so I've just made notes, like I said, because I will literally forget. That's me. Okay, so immune deficiency in depth causes, and how can we reverse its effects and rebuild our natural process? So, as a naturopath, okay, when we do a consult with a patient or client or whatever terminology that they use, we normally would spend 1 hour with that person, going in depth, past history, what injections that they've had, do they have metal fillings in their teeth, going through everything, look at their nails, check their tongue. You do iridology, which just to back up your information, and you see all the inherited weaknesses through the eyes and the iris. And going through their diet is a main focus for a lot of the stuff that we go through. So we put a collective of what the holistic approach that we're going to take to that patient. So we really take time and effort just to look at your whole history, make sure that we've got it, like we're pretty much covered what we do. If they're lacking certain minerals, you can tell by the tongue, you can tell by the nails, the eyes. It pretty much tells you everything. So, and when we just do a consult, it's just to back up the information that we could already check from the eyes, because a lot of it we can see it. So we need to prepare ourselves for the unseeable future, which is we need to prepare. We need to get educated on all levels, tips and ideas for all of us to share. It's going to be a collective effort. I don't proceed to be an expert on everything. It's all a learning process, and we're all along for the ride. We bounce off each other, take everything on board, learn not to be judgmental. Anyone's opinions may differ from yours or mine. It doesn't mean we are wrong. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. Most definitely.
Yeah. We all have the tools and knowledge that are left over from our ancestors. I'm going to put a little bit of a Bible spin in here. So I'm just trying to let people know how the food started in the old days and where the herb originated and how they were used. Okay. So we all have the tools from our ancestors. Herbs, food over time has lost its modality, would you say? Changed. We've moved away from what was used as a culinary and medicinal purpose. Slowly over time, our food choices has changed to become fast-paced in our environment. Eating is now becoming a chore. So when it comes to the price of our health, that's what's going to happen. You're not taking time out to select your right foods. You just go to the shop, buy whatever, process it. This is all going to impact on you over time. So, for example, in the Bible, it mentions 128 plants, herbs that were part of the everyday life as traditional medicine and using as culinary benefits. So these foods were apples, almonds, nettles, wormwood, black mustard, aniseed, cinnamon, garlic, flax, turmeric. And a lot of them have, hopefully we need to rekindle as a medicinal as well as a spiritual explanation of the herbs and the plants that have been with us from the beginning. So, for example, frankincense and boswellia, I highly recommend that to anyone. Get really educated on that. It's the most life-saving herb or resin that they will call it. I prefer to use it in a powder because I find it more stronger. That's in the Bible in Matthew 2. Paragraph 10 to 11, that's in there as well. So myrrh is in the Bible, milk thistles in the Bible. So I'm just giving you examples. So that's pretty much how it starts. So herbs have always been here. We've just lost it, and we're just relying on, big pharma or whatever, easy just to get through. And Cindy's mentioned it too. It's a no-win situation when you're going down that track.
Right, and the boswellia, like you had recommended, so we got about probably a year's supply. We stocked up on it, and I actually like the taste of it. It's kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's kind of...
if you want to waken up your third eye, that's a very good one to use.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it definitely, it feels good. Yeah, I like the reaction I get from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, like, a lot of products I have on my website, all the information that I put in there, it's based on clinical information that we have when we prescribe medicine to people. It's not something we just pluck out of Google and say, I'm going to put that. No, it doesn't work like that. We don't. As naturopaths, we have an obligation. We must prescribe medicine to you as the dosage rate that the companies will tell us, because you can get interaction. You need to know herbs are not for everybody, and especially if you're taking pharmaceutical medicine, they can interact with a lot of people. Like, for example, I've been hearing licorice root on some YouTube channels. They're promoting it. It's good, antiviral, antibacterial, but they need to stop. Shouldn't be promoting things that they're not trained on. I'm not trying to be a negative kind of thing, but if you really look into what licorice root does, if someone that's got high blood pressure, you're just going to make it go through the roof. Okay, you can't take licorice root for more than 3 months. It's going to increase your fluid. Yeah, and it's more designed for a woman. That's more for their hormones. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of interactions that they've got to really be mindful that they just can't promote things without knowing what's it about, because you actually can do more harm than good. Okay, so the most important thing, and we've discussed it before, you have to really focus on detoxing every single day. And the most critical thing about detoxing, and I don't know how much people understand this, everyone goes the liver, detox the liver. It's the bowel. Bowel management is the critical primary organ, elimination bowel, which is the most underactive organ in the body. So the purpose of the small intestine is to absorb and assimilate of foods. Large intestine is broken down, which is like divided down into 4 sections: ascending colon, transverse colon. Transverse colon, women have a lot of issues with this when they have children. It actually prolapses. So, and you can see it in the bowel. So what happens, all that poison that's in that bowel goes into the brain. And that's where you get leaky gut, and you get brain fog, and many things like that. That's where the transverse colon comes in. So you've got the descending colon and you've got the sigmoid colon. Okay? That large intestine is helped to remove excess water, breaks down waste products prior to elimination. Regular bowel activity promotes health, and underactive bowel increases the burden of elimination organ, introduces toxic material through the bloodstream, lymph system, and this material that settles goes back into your weak organs and it stays there, and tissues. And it's very hard to get out. So that's when disease starts to develop. And a lot of, I've got the old school Dr. Jensen books. A lot of us, that's iridology that we've studied on in all the schools. They do it. What happens is, he's got photos where people have had issues with the transverse colon. It's the bowels become, diseased. That stuff actually leaches into the bones, and people normally will get cancer in that area. So that area, the right hit would get the cancer. It spins you out when you actually really get into it, and I would really highly recommend that people get some Bernard Jensen books. They're really old school, but they're spot on. Okay, so organs which will be most effective is the lungs, is the first one that usually gets a lot of issues. Deep down in the bronchies, okay, kidney, skin, and liver, lymph as well, affects all the organ. When the colon becomes too clogged, and many illnesses will develop. Okay, what we need to do, we need to assist the body to cleanse itself with herbal medicines. Okay, I will get into the raw juices later. I'm just trying to do just one at a time. The herbal approach to detoxification. The herbal approach is basically pure upon the perception that the human body is a self-healing, homogenic organism that the therapist simply has to support normal process. The body is exceptional, highly effective, complex mechanism for righting the waste and toxic material. By keeping a simple method of safe herbs, we will support the natural process as long as the elimination process is happening. So the herbal approach is summarized by, first you need to support the body for the whole process of elimination. You need specific support for overly taxed organs. That means it could be a liver, it could be the kidney, it could be the lungs. So when we do iridology, we'll look at the areas and see what's troubling you. It will show up. That's probably there's certain colors in your eye, like a greyish color is normally a thyroid issue. You know what I mean? Black material over an area, it's toxic. Alleviation of the symptoms for addressing pathologies and may be also present. So that's a herbal approach to detoxing.
And so Rosemary, can I interject really quick? Because I just want to say that if you haven't had anybody ever do iridology on you or on a family member, I'm just talking to everybody in the chat room. It's pretty amazing because, like, she helped me with one of my clients who has ALS, was diagnosed with ALS, and she looked at his eyes and told me what to do, and it worked. Yeah, and it's amazing. It's amazing because, it was basically compression in the cervical, like C1, C2, the atlas and the axis, and that was compressing the nerves. And so doing some craniosacral therapy along with energy, and he just consistently got stronger and better. And it's amazing because she could see that in his eyes. So I just wanted to interject that.
Look, I even do iridology on horses. That is the most hardest thing you could ever imagine to do when they don't want to stand still. But for me, because I've been around horses all my life, I just take one look at them and I already know what's wrong with them. So yeah, for me, it's a long journey, but I got asked out of the blue to, oh, your daughter's a naturopath. When I used to go to the races, oh, your daughter's a naturopath. Oh, I need her. Come here. Oh, I want these herbs. I want that herbs. That's how equine the herbal started, was from like just people coming up to me because of my dad. And then I said, well, okay, I'm going to spin you out now. I'm going to do iridology on your horses. And you're like, what the hell? Yeah, no, my dad was not a believer in all this, but he actually got shocked. Because he's seen it before he passed away, that it actually works. And I'm like, okay, I've done my job. Okay, so what we need to do with herbal actions in elimination, so there are herbal actions belong to the psychological impact, makes them especially indicated for support of the different pathways of elimination of the body. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into the areas of the body like digestive system, kidneys, and I'll tell you what actions of the herb that you need to use. I have this all on my website, Facebook. I have like mini posts with pictures, so short and sweet, to the point. You can read it anytime. It's there for education. It's not there for anything to make me famous or anything. I do this out of the goodness of my heart, and you're more than welcome. Anytime you've got questions, you will email me or whatever. I know it's hard because a lot of you are all overseas. Okay, so with the digestive system and the colon, we would use a lot of laxatives. So again, try to stay away from herbs that really purge the bowel, especially senna. You can use it like often but not frequently, because it'll just destroy the muscle in the bowel. So it's just get it out, get it done, but you can't. A lot of people keep doing it every single day. So if they're going to keep doing it every single day, when they stop, they still got the problem, so they're not solving the issue. So what I normally do, the first thing in the morning, don't have coffee, don't have tea, okay, prune juice, half a cup or a cup of prune juice, drink that first, and you literally go to the toilet within half an hour. Okay, then you have your hot water with the lemon, and then it'll flush the blood, everything in the body. It'll flush the liver. As you know, lemons have very high vitamin C. Flush the liver. It'll actually flush the the bladder, because all the waste sits overnight. So you've got to flush all that out. Otherwise, you're going to get cystitis, stones. You know what I mean? So you just got to make sure you clean it out. So the first thing, make it a routine. Some people, especially for me, and I know, apple cider vinegar, you can use it, but be very mindful. Like if you're an O blood type like me, it will make you get sick in the chest, because it actually makes mucus. And O people they shouldn't be having apple cider vinegar. Don't have it every day. If you want to have it once or twice a month, just be careful. Okay, so for the kidneys and the urinary system, we use like diuretics. So again, be careful not to overdo it, because you will have a really big fluid imbalance with potassium and magnesium. You'll start getting cramps. You will lose a lot of fluid. If you want to lose weight, excess fluid straight away, birch leaf is probably one of the best herbs that you can get rid of fluid out of the body straight away. But it's not going to overtax the kidneys. Horsetail is great. Dandelion is great. All those, herbs, they work wonders. Next one is for the liver and blood, is heptic and alternative herbs. So you want to clean the liver and you want to restore the liver. So we use herbs like clove artichoke, which is probably really good to cleanse, and that's actually restores the heptic in the liver. Shisandi berries is that very expensive berry from China. Beautiful herb to use. It's very good for girls if they want nice, good-looking skin. St. Mary's thistle is traditional, that they commonly prescribe. There's so much. Rosemary you can use. There's so much herbs that you can have. Once again, just feel free to go on the website. I have most of the herbs I have on site on the computer. Some of them I don't put there for a reason, and I'm putting a lot of tinctures on, so they're more specific type of herbs, and you can go and just feel free, grab as much information as you can, print them off, keep them for your safekeeping.
And Rosemary, the other thing that I've seen people mention, which we've talked about, is nanotechnology, nanobots, because a lot of people are wondering, is this something that's triggered by the frequencies like 5G with the nanobots already in our system? And you had told me before about getting rid of them, or one possible way. Would you share that?
Yeah, we did that show originally with you when we talked about it, and then I think you got flagged.
Yeah, I get flagged all the time, so.
Yeah, and it's more you got to detox heavy metal toxins. So I've got borax as a conversation at the end, but you've done one of my blogs about heavy metal detoxing through the spraying like bugs in the sky. You know how they do to us. You've done it. It's on my website, so you really need to look all food. What I'm talking about. So I'll go and find that. I'll go read it for you. Yeah, it's called Heavy Detoxing Through Chemtrailing. If you want to pull it up so they can see it, I'll just check here.
So it's on your blog.
Yeah, you've done a video on it too, a while ago.
Yeah. Well, basically, if we just touch on it, we're talking borax, food grade borax.
Yeah, borax. I will talk at the end because I did a big information about it.
Okay.
What else is there? There's heaps. There's even like colostrum.
Mm-hmm.
It's very it raises the immune system. You've got tissue salts you can use. Where is it? I can't remember what I wrote. You've got all the bentonite clays, zeolite clays. You can use. Okay, here it is.
Diatomaceous earth.
That's it. Try not. You don't really need to. That's more like to get rid of what do you call it? The worms in the guts, and I give it to the animals. So normally the best one would probably be the zeolite and bentonite. They're probably equally as good. Okay, so what have we got here? So we've got cod liver oil. I've got that as a topic, so I'll leave it for later. Essential oils, I have that as a topic, I'll leave it for later. Then we've got all the vitamin B groups. So I've broken it down to like B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, what they actually do, because as you know, B group vitamins is very important for your nervous system. Okay? And then you've got like folate, vitamin E, what does it do? And you've got everything there, all the food, what you need to take. Vitamin C, again, you need that. It's probably one of the most important things. Because what happens is it's a binding agent where it's going to take the toxins out of the body. It's not going to sit in there. Calcium, blood calcium is very important. So I'll talk about that, what to have for that. And then you've got selenium, which I'm going to cover. Silica, again, I'm going to cover. Apple and citrus peels. When you cut your orange and you want to make it for a juice, or you want to give it to the kids for their lunch or whatever it may be, always dry them. Never throw them out, because they actually have more vitamin C than the actual fruit itself. So they absorb heavy metals, absorbs from the gastrointestinal tract. So it takes everything out. Garlic again, onions, sulfur foods, that's really good. Kelp, I'm going to cover that later. Liquid chlorophyll, the green stuff that you have, you can put it in your water. That's really good to help cleanse your body. Neuropeptides, rich in amino acids. It cleanses the blood. It does so much for you. It's really good. And then you've got chia seeds, all those flax seeds, psyllium husk, rolled oats. You want to bulk up the bowel, so you get a really good, clean, like a sweep of your bowel, and then you want all that toxins to come out, like we've just discussed. If you keep that material in there, you're just going to constantly have the toxic material circulating around in the bloodstream, and it will never go. Tissue salts, we're going to cover. Then it goes back into the herbs. Horsetails, high in silica. Stinging nettle is my favourite. Moringa leaves, frankincense, botrylia, rosemary herbs. And then you've got gold. Yeah, all these herbs I'm going to cover down the track with the antibacterial, antiviral herbs. So they're pretty much similar. These are the powerful herbs that you need to put as part of your food, or a couple of them as part of your daily routine, just to keep on top of everything. A great herb to keep in mind is mullein flowers. That's really good for the lungs in general. It tones and soothes irritated lungs, but it also repairs damaged tissues in the lungs. So that's one of the herbs that will actually repair the lungs, and not many people know that. Again, olive leaf, extract you can have every day. That's really good. It's going to help a lot. There's a lot of things that we can do. And I know, like in Australia, we've got our own herbs. In Europe, they've got their own herbs. Asia's got their own herbs, which I try not to buy. And then America's got their own herbs. You know what I mean? And some people, we're not allowed to send to you. You're not allowed to send to us. You know what I mean? So I try to make it as generic as possible, without going into, because some people won't be able to get the herbs. Okay.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Oh yeah. Now you were talking again. Which one was the one that you said about rebuilding the lungs that could actually help rebuild?
Mullein, Mullein. Mullein.
Okay, Mullein.
Okay. So we'll go back to what I was talking about before I forget. Lymphatic system. So you need lymphatic herbs. Echinacea is the most important herb for anything that we have for our immune system. It's going to activate T cells. It's going to help people, especially if their not the blood, the other one. The plasma is down. It's got antibacterial, antiviral properties. It's really good herb to keep you in check.
Echinacea, very good.
Echinacea. So you need tonics as well for skin. Okay, the skin, like we've discussed before, we call it the third kidney. So basically, and I'll give you an example, because I've got a metal hip in my leg. Okay, I'm constantly trying to combat the metal poisoning in my body. Do you know what I mean? So I know when it comes to heavy metal poisoning, I have it. I have the whole thing in my leg, and I'm trying to combat that every single day. So it will show up on your skin, because the last elimination organ is the skin. It'll show up. Whatever's wrong in your body, the skin will show it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, if you've got skin issues, it's a good idea just before you jump in the shower, do a dry skin brush, start getting the circulation, because if I see it, I'll say it to people, if they've got a lot of their skin backs up, so they're not eliminating through the skin. So the pores should eliminate toxins. So if you're not sweating, you've got adrenal issues. And you just need to be really mindful that you need to circulate the skin. You need to do dry skin brushing for about 3-4 minutes. I've got all this information on box, and have nice baths, and get the pores open, and then you'll start seeing a lot of that detoxing. Okay, especially your breathing is important for the skin as well. So make sure you do deep lung breathing to get all the toxins out of your lungs and everything, so it helps a lot. Respiratory system, so you use like an anti-carceral herbs. Expectorant herbs is like mullein, you've got fennel, you've got colt's foot. There's so many herbs that you can use for that. And just for systemic support in general, a lot of the herbs, they all come together. So adaptogen is probably the best, and I've got a topic at the end about adaptogen herbs. Okay.
Okay.
So any questions you want to know?
Does anybody have any questions out there for Rosemary? And we're going to be... and we're going to be bringing David Dubine on in about 20 minutes. So as far as, what you're seeing right now with what we're seeing as far as this outbreak, what would you stock up on? Just plain and simple. What would you make sure that you were perhaps taking on a daily basis?
Okay. I stock up. Sounds crazy. I stock on that much herbs. I went to the market the other day. I bought boxes and boxes of fruit, pineapples, zucchinis, peaches, corn, and I dry all this. I've actually made a note at the end that, because what's going to happen in the future, we need to make sure that I've seen Soul Revival, what you wrote. I'll just give my thoughts on that. Okay, what happens is, going down the track, we're going to end up, how we're going to go, the food's going offline soon. I'm preparing, as much fruits and vegetables as you can, because this is a crucial part of our daily vitamins and minerals. We don't get it from anywhere else. So you need to be mindful that we have to stock up. I dry it. I keep them in packets, or I will, in a dehydrator, I use it. I pack them, and if I need it into powder down the track, I will blend it up and use in capsules, or put it in, cereal or whatever it may be. It's my long-term goal that if we're missing something, we're going to have it. You know, we're never going to be out of stock. A lot of herbs, echinacea, I'd stock up on heaps of essential oils, food, mineral therapy, tonics, tinctures. Yeah, I cover all of it. So it's not about what's going to be for my benefit. If someone needs help or comes to me and says, "Oh, I need medicine," or you know, I can't get anything from the chemist, I can make them up something. Does that make sense?
Yes, and so we have questions about dehydrating fruit and stuff. Like a lot of people aren't growing anything right now, or they're just starting to grow stuff. And obviously, fruit trees take a long time. You might get some strawberries, and there's some things we could get kind of quick. But on the most, for the most part, what would you recommend? I mean, should they, get a dehydrator, start drying their own?
Dehydrator, it's going to be a really big investment for you. Look online, get the big ones, don't get the small ones, because they don't really dry properly. So I can give you some information of what I've got, and people can go on eBay or whatever. I don't really use Amazon to buy it. Things like kale, spinach, parsley, rosemary trees, kale, zucchinis, cucumbers, pumpkins, sweet potato. They're probably one of the most easiest things to grow, because if you look at the leaves, they've got little tentacles on it where the bugs can't eat it. They stay away from it, and they grow like no tomorrow. You just chuck the seeds. You don't even have to put them in the ground. You just chuck the seeds, and they'll just do their own work.
That's good. Yeah, we have a bunch of kale that's growing. It popped up so quick. We're excited. So, yeah, it's so nutritious as well.
Just chop it, and it'll keep growing. It's like forever growing. It never stops.
That's
and
awesome.
Spinach is the same. It's forever growing. Just chop it a little bit, what you need, and then it'll keep growing. Bok choy, those Chinese vegetables, bok choy, basil's easy to grow. So there's a lot of things that you can grow in your house. Yeah, but it's the other stuff that's a little bit more harder. Yeah. Red amaranth is really good if you want it. It just grows like crazy. You've forever got seeds. You've forever got leaves. You always have food.
And how about wheat? How about like organic wheat berries and all?
A wheatgrass?
Like you could grow the wheat grass from the berries, right?
Oh no, they're little seeds and barley grass. So you can I'm gonna cover that with the sprouted seeds and seeds in general, what they do to your body. So about hybrid foods, what to look out for, not what to eat. I'm gonna cover that shortly.
Okay, let's go into that because sprouts are so nutritious.
Yes, they are. Okay, so I'll talk about black beans as well, what the benefits they are and why I recommend them. Okay, let me find where I'm going. All right, I have to look for it. So did you want to talk about the immune system or what's the causes? I think you'll spin out a few people.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So with the immune system, I'll get to your sprouted seeds. It's all in order. So the immune defense system is specifically designed to protect you against infections that, mediate by antibodies and the cells of the lymphatic system, cellular immunity. So when you're deficient with the immune system, it can be either genetic or acquired. Of either system will increase susceptibility to infections in general and some diseases. The immune is very sensitive to acquired malfunction from several areas. So one highly controversial issue, for immune dysfunction is the procedure of inoculation malfunction with the kids when they inject them with their program until about 2 or 3 years old. In Australia, they must have it. Otherwise, they're not allowed to go to childcare, not allowed to go to school. You're not allowed to receive government benefits. So they really got a hold on you. Unless you're filthy rich, there's no way out. Does that make sense? Yeah, or you live in the country and you homeschool your kids. Okay. So when they do it, and they can create epidemic diseases with kids from a young age, but some of it stays in the body and doesn't come out to this later. So an interesting note that people should take down is have a look at the thymus gland and its function in a little bit more detail. So what it does with that area, it alters the function and activity, and it's the main leader of the immune system. So some people, when they get cancer, the thymus is the one that's gave them the cancer. I've seen it in a few people when they're really sick. So severe infectious diseases can result in immune deficiency. It may be a preceding cause. For example, known allergies linked to immune malfunction. Severe cases of rheumatic fever, hepatitis, candida. Have you heard of the Epstein-Barr virus?
Oh, yeah.
Glandular fever. Yeah. So this is part of what's the issue. So, and a lot of these things come out later on. So you could have it for donkeys, and all of a sudden, boom, it hits you. So acute viral and bacterial disease reduce the production of the thymus gland, which is the T helper cells necessary to moderate allergic response. So nutritional deficiencies may be a simple lack of nutrient intake. So again, leaky gut, poor digestion. Do you have enough digestive enzymes? Poor absorption process. Again, a lot of this contributes to a bad immune system. That's why probiotics, prebiotics is important. I will cover that shortly. Toxic exposure to chemicals, which we're going into our little, bug killer spraying airplanes that we have. Heavy metals, environmental pollutants from being sprayed, which I wrote here, sprayed like bugs, and radiation may have similar effects on our health. The Epstein virus is known as a kissing disease, and keep in mind that you can catch the virus, similar with hepatitis, when you kiss somebody or you're sharing their drinks, straws, or even using their cutlery or silverware that they've passed on to you. So they need to make sure they use proper hygiene in the kitchen. Especially if you're going to someone else's house, just be mindful of that. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this day and age, we need to take all precautions. But we need to make sure that wash your hands really well. So we've known allergy, nutritional single or multiple deficiency can, and this is where I come into the blood type. Lectin raises inflammation and creates autoimmune diseases that the immune system can only be as healthy as its organized cells and tissues. So I'll cover that a little bit later in more detail. Stress will play a pivotal role, and those big pharma drugs, chemotherapy, antibiotic use, poor hygiene can contribute to a weaker immune system. Good hygiene is critical. Also, keep in mind, when you meet and greet people in the street or, as a friends, just be mindful with the handshake. I know it's some common thing that we do, but you don't know where that person's had their hands. You don't know if that person's washed their hands. Again, when you go to the public toilet, you need to wash your hands. You got to at least wash your hands for 3 minutes to have it cleaned properly. If you've done an experiment and put under the blue light, you'll get shocked that we don't even clean our hands properly because it shows up. Okay. So important note, to be at optimal level, the immune system has become weakened or compromised. The majority, like host and virus and bacteria, can hold in many cases devastating results. The immune system's function adequately, no such infection could take place in the body. So that's why I think a lot of the food that we eat, water that we drink, that's all been mastermind for us to be like this. Because in the old days, I never heard of people getting sick like this. I never heard of it. My dad's never heard of it. They all lived a healthy life with no issues. My dad was shy of 6 weeks from his 80th birthday. He never had a problem. And he smoked. So to boost the immune system naturally, we need to the lifestyle markers of a good immunity. We call it the 7 doctors of nature. That's what I'm going to call it for you today. These are quite simple things that you can do and take out of your day. It's not going to cost you nothing, except for the plants if you want to buy them. So the first one is fresh air. Okay, most of us live in big cities. Well, I live in a city. except when I go to the country. The home, you need good quality air. So if you want to incorporate putting plants in your house where they're going to remove the toxins from like your home, so peace lilies, bamboo plants, Boston ferns, aloe vera, the mother's tongue. So a lot of those plants will remove benzoin, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and formaldehyde from your immediate area that's in the house. So anything that's coming through, those plants will. That's what they're designed to do: clean the air for you. I normally would leave a little glass of activated charcoal on my window ledges around the house to absorb toxins that are coming through as well. And then every couple of months, just throw it out. Sunshine. Normal. Our sun at the moment, I don't think it's not, as you know, it's not working. The plants aren't growing. I can tell you that now because my nettle doesn't grow at all. And that's not normal for nettle. So you need your vitamin D uptake for your immune and other functions. So you need to get out. And it doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes a day. Make sure you get your long limbs, your thigh area, and your arms. That's going to absorb most of the vitamin D. So clean water, I know it's somewhat hard to find for all these environmental toxins. Unfortunately, you got to use what the council supply to your house, or the government. So things that you can keep in mind, just if you want to keep your water filtered at all time, get a little go bottle, a life straw. There's the ready-made bottles. Fill up your water with that. You can use water jugs with filters, like bitter filters. You can keep them on hand. I'm trying to educate people on the less expensive things that you can do. So if you have to bug out, take it with you. You don't. It's not going to be a detrimental effect. It's not too big that you can't take it. Or you can go down the expensive route, put the filters in under all your basins, and especially if you're going to have a shower, you don't want all the toxins coming on you as well in baths. So clean, fresh, raw foods. This is what I'm talking about, the seeds now. Okay, do not purchase hybrid foods, GMO foods. Okay, the seeds that are in the plants are meant to be there. There's a reason why they have it. They carry the life of the next generation. So if they're missing or sterile, the inherited life of the quality of food is gone, reduced. It doesn't exist anymore. So you'll find seedless watermelons. You'll find grapes with no seeds, etc., etc. That's not normal. Stay away from it. It's a GMO food. Okay, seeds and nuts offer critical nutritional value to our daily routine. It plays a very important role with endocrine glands in the body. Okay, both seeds can be male or female, which not many people knew about it, because capsicums, you actually can tell if they're a male or a female capsicum. Whole nut seeds and certain grains contain feeds that feed the gland and nervous system. So sprouted seeds are an excellent choice because they contain all the same nutritional value as unsprouted water seeds when dried up. Okay, so watermelon. Okay, if you've got a watermelon and you've got the seeds, don't ever throw it away. Dry them, wash them and dry them. Keep it. You can squash it up and put it in your juice, or you can make it as a tea. That's really going to cleanse the kidneys. It's really good for hypertension. Okay, pumpkin seeds. You throw out the pumpkin, if you kick the pumpkin, keep the seeds, never throw them out. You can use that for many things. They're good. It's good for prostate issues, which is a commonly known remedy. They treat flukes in the brain, which is small mini micro parasites that in the brain. They treat that. They get rid of it. So grape seeds is another one. Most of the shopping centres here in Australia, they don't have the grapes with the seeds in it. So you literally have to go either to a farmer's market or someone that grows it directly to get the proper seeded grapes. So seeds in a grape is really high in antioxidant, phenolic acids, anti-inflammatory. The list can go on. You can buy these in the shop already like that, but it's very, very expensive. So when you get a grape, a lot of people throw out the seeds. Never, just eat it. It's really good for you.
So, Rosemary, I'm sorry to interject, because we're going to have to switch over to David in a few minutes. But one of our family members that actually suffered a tremendous amount with Morgellons, and so she was asking, she's doing better now. but she was saying about castor oil. Is there anything else she could use for her skin? Because her skin would just burn, and it was really painful for her.
Oh, really? Look, that's a lot of it. I think it's internal. There's a lot of issues. It's not just the skin. If you got a burning, I would look at the gut. Maybe she's very low on vitamin B12. There's a lot of issues. I probably, if she wants, send me an email. I can do a reading for her, just to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, yeah, I'll put her in contact with you as well, and she has been doing a lot better, and thankfully, very real, and I think more people have that than is really realized. I really do. I think there's a ton of people that have it, because obviously, the skies are covered every single day.
Yes, out here today is clear. We actually had some rain this morning. Now it's actually sunny. Okay, I'll just quickly touch on the blood groups, okay, because this is really what is surrounding a lot of issues that all of us have, and I'm testament to this because I can tell you 100% it works. Okay, with your blood, it doesn't matter if you're A, O, B, AB, okay? Your blood is specific to your internal chemistry and a powerful genetic fingerprint that identifies you and your DNA. That's the key word, your DNA. Easy way to put it is how the way we absorb nutrients, what foods we digest, and how our body handles it. Immune comes from the Italian word or Latin word immunus. When donated as a city of the Roman Empire that was not required to pay taxes, the immune system works to find self and destroy no self. Your blood, your food plan can avoid common viruses, infections, lose weight, and get rid of the toxins and fats just by changing your diet to what suits your blood. You can fight against diseases, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and many other ones. And a lot of people with autoimmune diseases like hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, MS, ALS, the rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of it's surrounded by the food and a lack of minerals that we're not getting in our diet anymore. So once you start changing it, you'll see a lot of changes that come out with you. So lupus is another one. So the bacteria and microbes have lectins on the surface, so they act like suction cups, okay, attach themselves to the mucous lining of the body. So often viruses and bacteria with the blood can be specific more to prone to issues. So lectins are high in, you need to make a note, guys, legumes, seafood, grains, and vegetable. You need to avoid these foods, especially if your blood doesn't handle it, because they create antibodies which will start attacking your immune system. So that's why the blood type comes in. So for example, wheat germ has a common lectin found where it binds to the small intestine, which irritates blood type O, which is meat. So wheat, forget about it. That's where people get celiac disease, irritable bowel. There's a list of them. They eats the lining of the bowel because it acts like a glue. So for example, O blood, you got to stay away from wheat, gluten, sweet corn. What it does, it interferes with insulin production, slows your metabolic rate, hence weight gain. So even like kidneys, lentils, cabbage, mustard greens will impair utilization and inhibit your thyroid hormone, since autoimmune diseases. So everything attacks the thyroid. So it starts to make sense with like people. So O blood, high protein, low carbs, meat eater. Okay, you need to cut out the grains. Vigorous exercises. So if you're going to continue to eat the wrong diet that doesn't belong to your area, you can have ulcers, you're going to have inflammatory disease, and you're going to get arthritis. So blood type A, I'm going to be quick. Vegetarian, high carbs, low fat, gentle exercises, yoga. B blood, they can have, they're very blood types, so they can include meats, and you do really good with dairy. A and B are the most has the most benefits and intolerances than A and B put together. So they have the friendliest immune system. So foods to avoid for you guys is chicken, corn, banana, and fava beans. Okay, so mineral therapy is really good. Juicing, I highly recommend it because that's going to help. Essential oils, you need to get on top of that. Start saving up your oils because they're 20 times stronger than actual lemon. It's like lemon oil or the wild orange. You've got mandarin, tangerine, you've got turmeric, you've got pretty much covered coriander. There's heaps of, I don't want you to go to any particular brand. You pick what's right for you and where you can get it. Some of them are very expensive, so just be mindful, do your shopping. So borax, do not purchase synthetic borax. It has to be natural, and a lot of it comes from China, so stay away from it. Borax is an essential trace mineral for humans, and a lot of us are deficient in boron. So when we're that, a lot of this will create chronic diseases. So borax is excellent antiseptic, antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial action. Okay, so many people, I've seen it in the chat, and they've asked me, put it in water. I highly recommend it, and it's actually, in Australia, we're not allowed to tell you to put it in your water. They wanted to ban cellular borax for oral supplement regarding its poison if taken orally. You have it in the bath, 1 cup. I'm telling you, it will be the best thing you've ever done, and that will be good for Morgellons disease.
So we got to jump over and grab David now, but we could definitely, if you have time, bring you back on in a few days to go into more depth.
Yeah, I'll just put what I haven't spoken
about. And again, this is Rosemarie Djuric, guys. So I have the link up, and I also have her Facebook up. I'll put it there another time here for you guys. So, feel free to reach out to her. Again, she's a naturopath, herbalist, and also iridologist, and a wealth of information, and great family member here as well, and a good friend. So do definitely reach out to her, and she will definitely get back to you guys, and we'll have her on again a little bit later, as this, obviously, the whole situation with the virus and everything is just escalating. So thank you so much for joining us, Rosemarie.
Thank you, Rosemarie.
That's all right. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too. We love you.
Love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Rosemarie, and again, she's a wealth of information. I've had her on a couple other times in the past, although it's probably been about a year since I had her on. So I just thought this was great timing, and she really wants to help. That's the thing with her, is she's somebody that just really wants to help.
Mm-hmm. She is. I love her to pieces, and thank you so much, Rosemarie, for taking time out of your day and bringing in all the really super good information. I mean, especially right now. Right now, we're all looking at a bunch of weirdness. It's 333 watching now. That I love that number. It's my favorite number. But yeah, I mean, there's just, and her website, go on her website, and this is all available to you. The website is free, and I'm not sure how to, like, if you were to schedule something with her, I'm sure it's all there on the website. But there's a lot of things that we can do, and I think we should. Now's a really good time. So things look really suspicious. So now's just a really good time to get grounded, get healthy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely. There's so much going on right now. And, we're going to take a look. I'm going to try to see if I could grab David now. His late was green, and sorry, I ran half an hour late with Rosemarie. It took a little bit longer getting everything set up than anticipated. And David's been, doing his best to see about getting out of, the country where he is and getting back to the States. As we know, things are coming. Okay, he needs a little more rest. So what we'll do is we will come back. Okay, now about an hour and a half. We'll come back in about an hour and a half. So we'll cut this one here for now. Take a little bit of a break, and maybe we'll actually have a bite to eat, and then we'll come back in an hour and a half And we'll go directly with David Devine of Adapt 2030. And so we'll get his perspective. David's been on the front lines. I mean, he's seen things that we haven't seen. So being over there in Asia, and, David is just another wealth of information. So we're going to cut this one here. Perfect timing, right about an hour. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this one. And so we'll be coming back in about an hour and a half with David Devine from Adapt 2030. As always, my friends, stay prepared out there. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.